The latest installment of our series, 50 Great Voices, features a man who recorded under the name The Notorious B.I.G. People knew him as Biggie Smalls, or Biggie. He was murdered when he was 24 years old. Yet he's one of the most revered, emulated, and biggest-selling rappers in the game. Here's NPR's Franny Kelly.
Biggie's voice doesn't sound like anybody else's. It's plummy, wheezy, humid. It sounds like it comes from deeper in his chest than other people's voices.
Tim's for my hooligans in Brooklyn. Dead right, if the head right, Biggie there every night. Papa been smooth since days of under rules. Never lose, never choose to. Bruise, cruise, who? Do something to us. Talk, go through us.
He learned diction and phrasing from jazz saxophonist Donald Harrison when Biggie was just a teenager in Brooklyn and still went by the name Chris Wallace.
First time I spoke with Chris, Notorious B.I.G., he was on the stoop, and I was passing by, and he just said hello. He was a lot younger, but he wanted to learn about music, and that was magic words to my ears.
Harrison wanted to make his neighbor a jazz musician. He gave him homework, made him learn how to scat a Cannonball Adderley solo, and listen to Charlie Parker and Ella Fitzgerald.
We work on various tonguing and speed and agility so that each note comes out. You have to slow things down really slow and take the time to phrase each note.
It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. Salt and Pepper and Heavy D up in the limousine. Hanging pictures on my wall. Every Saturday, rap attack Mr. Magic Marley.
Like, out of nowhere, you could be working in one direction on a record, and the next thing you know, you're riding down the street and you hear something on the radio. Next thing you know, you're making a sharp left. You're going back to the studio, back to the drawing board. I Get Around was one of those records. What you try to achieve in creating a record that's supposed to be for airplay or mass consumption, a 1, 2, 3 word hook, something that everyone can relate to, something that gets boy and girl to connect on the dance floor or just in the general world of hanging and chilling, so that you could be a part of the soundtrack of the youth culture's movement, their lives in this era, or that whatever era you're putting the records out. Tupac had that. Brenda Had a Baby, Dear Mama, and then I Get Around. It's like, that's like a social conscious record that he was able to do and had that on radio and make that into a massive hit. Then he was able to do another record with soul and heart that went straight to the women with the mothers, Dear Mama, and then he did one for the corner boys and all the cool guys. This is how you play. I Get Around. It fit him. It was a movie. It was what we needed to see to know, okay, Biggie, he's a player too. Do you understand? Bring out that player aspect. Bring out that player mantra, so that people can see I'm just not in the street, churning drugs and hand to hand. You understand? I'm getting jiggy with it. I can get the party started. I'm in the hot tub with my girl and all of her friends. You understand? I play. I Get Around showed you that you could be gangster and you could be a player too at the same time. And you can have all of that. Now, there might have been other songs that kind of intimated that, and there might have been some Big Daddy Kane, but it's such a different era, it didn't hit those people. He gave me gangster without all the guns, but also player. He gave me player too. Tough, but player.